Hi, my name is Nonima Tigela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the investigation bundle. SAPS must tell South Africans who authorized two parallel investigations in the Senzo Meyiwa murder case. How did we, as South Africans, end up having that situation on our hands? It's not making sense, and someone needs to account and tell South Africans what happened. Okay, let's deal with the co-allegation. South Africa was never told the truth about who inside SAPS authorized two separate investigative command structures in the Senzo Meyiwa murder case. Nobody, no one. Two separate investigations operating in the same case, same murder case, operating outside normal chain of command rules. It has never happened before. One case has two dockets. It has never happened before. Team 1 reporting directly to then Minister of Police Bheki Cele. Team 2 reporting directly to then National Police Commissioner Kehla Stone. That alone is very weird. That alone, very, very weird. Something is off. It also reminds me, I saw Mr. Cele on a podcast of Ban Bofu, I forgot his name, Ban Bofu, and then he spoke about him and Kehla Tole not having a good relationship at some point in their working relationship when they were when Kehla Tole was working under him as Minister. So maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know, but we had that situation, and this situation was created perhaps by that. And I don't understand why grown men will take personal issues or whatever issues that they have and they come in between their work professional ethics. I don't know, maybe something. But the bottom line is that this is not an administrative overlap. It is an institutional fracture, and it may explain every contradiction, delay, and collapse in this Senzo Meyiwa case. And why is all of that a national scandal? In South African policing doctrine, one crime is equal to one investigative command structure. Parallel teams destroy evidential integrity, contaminate witness handling, fracture accountability, enable political interference. Yet in the Senzo Meyiwa matter, this rule was quietly abandoned. Did not make sense. And then we ended up having structures of the two teams. Now, team 1, ministerial line, that's where they were. Answered directly to Minister Bheki Cele, operated outside normal SAPS operational independence. Political oversight bled into operational control. Key question though, why was Cabinet Minister effectively placed inside a live murder investigation? What was happening? Okay, moving. Team 2, Commissioner line, answered directly to then National Commissioner Kehla Stone, parallel authority, separate briefing strategies, and witness control. Quick question again. Why did the National Commissioner tolerate or authorize a second competing investigative authority? Why was this happening? Someone needs to answer for that, and it does not look like we are getting answers as South Africans. Now, the legal consequences. Number 1, chain of command was broken here. SAPS standing orders require a single investigating officer, a single reporting hierarchy, clear accountability. This case had none of the above. Secondly, evidence integrity is compromised. Parallel investigations raise unavoidable questions. Which team handled which evidence? Were exhibits duplicated, moved, or reintroduced? Were witnesses briefed directly by different teams? What was happening? Which version is the official one? Do you understand? Any defense lawyer would argue irreparable contamination when it comes to such. Thirdly, political interference, red flag. A minister is not an investigator. If the executive influenced witness selection, suspect identification, investigative direction, then the trial is constitutionally tainted under Section 35, fair trial rights. doctrine of prosecutorial independence. Now, the bigger question South Africa must ask, was the investigation split to find the truth or to control the outcome? Was that what was happening here? Parallel investigations are not accidental. They are designed. Either SAP's leadership lost control or control was deliberately fragmented. Both are catastrophic. Questions that must be answered on record. One, who authorized two investigative teams? Names, dates, written directives, all of that is needed. Two, under what legal authority did a minister receive direct investigative reports? We need an understanding in that. Thirdly, which team controlled key witnesses at which stages? We need clarification when it comes to that. Number four, which team handled forensic exhibits and when? All of that needs to be answered, guys. Number five, why was the existence of dual teams never disclosed to the public or the court? It was now forcefully brought forward by Advocate Tifo. Otherwise, we were never going to know about it. Do you understand why all of that matters now? The Senzo Meyiwa trial is not just about 5 accused men, 1 murder. It is about whether SAPS can secretly fracture a murder investigation for political convenience and then pretend the chaos was incompetence. That's what it is about. And it's not looking all right. It doesn't look all right at all. It's very weird. It's very, very weird. So South Africa does not have a cold case problem. It has an accountability problem. Until SAPS explains who split the investigation, why was it split, and who benefited, the Senzo Meyiwa case will remain legally suspicious, constitutionally compromised, morally unresolved, and the question will not go away. Who inside SAPS decided that one truth was not good enough? Who there by SAPS did that? Because South Africa, this is not a theory, this is not a speculation, this is institutional crime scene. What is happening here, it's exactly that. Because in the matter of Senzo Meyiwa, the police did something so abnormal, so dangerous, so legally radioactive, that no honest justice system could survive it. Never. 2 investigations, 1 murder at the same time, and nobody was supposed to notice this, I promise you. Otherwise, if Utefo was never there, this, it was not going to be noticeable. The rule that was broken is that, okay, let's start with the rule SAPS never wanted us to think about. In policing, anywhere in the world, 1 murder equals 1 command structure, period. 1 lead investigator, 1 chain of custody, 1 line of accountability. Break that rule and you don't investigate crime, you manufacture chaos. But in the Senzo Meyiwa case, that rule was executed. 2 teams, 2 bosses, 2 truths. Team 1, we already spoke about what happened there, because wow. And all of this, it had nothing to do with incompetence. Do not insult yourself by calling this a mistake. Parallel investigations do not happen accidentally. They happen when control is more important than clarity. Optics matter more than evidence. Outcomes matter more than the truth. This wasn't a chaos. This was designed to look like a chaos. That's what it was happening here. Because wow, what a wow. And we all need to be clear. The Senzo Meyiwa case didn't collapse because witness forgot, evidence went missing, or memories faded. It collapsed because the police split the truth in 2 and hoped South Africa would never connect the dots. This is not justice delayed. This was justice sabotaged. And until SAPS tells us who authorized it, who benefited, and who controlled which truth, this case will never be solved thoroughly. Because the real mystery isn't who pulled the trigger, it's who hijacked the investigation. Who hijacked the investigation? One murder, two investigations, and not a single honest explanation. South Africa deserves an answers. Guys, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.